realize this that you can do whatever you want and no one is actually stopping you because nobody cares what you do. It's like here's the thing that there is a effect called spotlight effect in psychology. What happens is that this also happens with mostly with the introverts. So one person just thinks that everyone around him thinks that what everyone else will care and think about him, but in reality they're just too disturbed with their lives. They just maybe think for him if say, for example, you have did some weird shit, like someone you're just going on a road and you just did some dance, do some kung fu karate. Yeah, people are going to notice that for a few seconds, and they'll just forget about it. Maybe they'll have like memory of someone doing some stupid shit on the road, and that's about it. Like nobody really cares what you do in your life. Everyone is too busy, even your parents. So here's what used to happen with me when I started YouTube. Actually started before, but then I stopped it, and then I'm continuing now. I used to think that hey, what my parents will think if I just well, because I was talking about some unconventional topics. So yeah, I used to think like what they'll say if they hear me, if someone's seen my videos. And there was a YouTuber called Ali Abdul. So he said that your first videos are not going to be like very popular. They are not going to get 10, 20,000, 30,000 views. And so the only way your parents, your friends will know that you are a YouTuber, that you made a video is if you actually share a link with them. So never share a link with them, and they will never know you are a YouTuber. Obviously, if they see you like recording in your room, that's a different story. But they'll never know that you're a YouTuber. And I just realized is that nobody really cares that what you do. Why? Because people are too busy with their life. Like I said, like the spotlight effect. So the guy who's in the spotlight, he thinks that oh everyone cares what I think. Everyone is looking at me. That actually happened. So like I was going to get the creatine from a jogging track. Why? Because I don't want my parents to know. And some guy was looking at me. I was like, well, why is he looking at me? And then I used like logical part of my brain, and so you know what? Yeah, this people just look at each other. It's no big deal. Like you're driving on the bike, and I was driving on a scooty, and it's no big deal. Like even if people look at you, even they look at you like you're crazy, that doesn't really matters. Like I actually cut off my hairs, like completely gone black, cut off my beard, mustache, everything. Things really didn't matter much. Like you can see, my hairs actually started grow now. So yeah, people just ask that, oh, what happened? Did someone die? So yeah, in like a Hindu culture, if someone dies, we kind of like blend out the hairs, like trim, and use like a trimmer. It's called Vastaras. It's a different story, but you just go black. So I say, yeah, actually did it for different reason. I just didn't want to tell them that because my hairs are getting completely white. So trimming off the hairs can actually remove all the toxin and the materials trapped in the hair. So yeah, I didn't want to explain that. So I said, yeah, my uncle died. No, that wasn't really true. My uncle is not dead. But the thing is, people just forget about it. Like they got normal. They got used to seeing me black. In like 2 days, it didn't really matter much. I was hesitating that hey, what will people will think? But this was something necessary to do because I kind of wanted to recover my hair. So this was the only way for me, and it worked. My was getting so weak that when I just go through my hairs like this, I try to stretch them, they'll come out. But now they don't. So they got too loose and now too weak. But now the things were changed. And this was actually a video I've seen from like the YouTuber called Karl Ram on his hair video. So it kind of worked really well. This is what point I'm trying to bring it to you that you trying to do something which you know is good for you. You know you need to do. You know very important to do. Like for example, not going to the university. I don't know. There are thousand different things. Like for example, telling your parents, okay, this degree is bullshit. I'm not going to do it. But you're too shy because you say like what my parents will think, what their relatives will think, what my friends will think, what the people around you must will think. Yeah, it's like here's the thing is that all they can do is think either negative or positive about you, right? There are only two things that a stranger can do on a road, unless you're in like some dangerous country. And but if you're like a decent country, even like India, There are only two things that if you do some weird shit on a road, like dance and not take off your clothes, there are only two things, okay, positive and negative. There's nothing else. Like people just you don't realize that the only thing that the people can do these days is think about you, judge you, uh, yeah, have certain opinion about you. All of this can be positive or negative, and that's about it. They are not going to come to your home knocking and saying like, "Hey man, you did some weird shit on the road. Are you mad? Is you need to see a doctor?" No one going to say that. No one going to come to your door, buzz off the bell. Doesn't fucking happen in real life. And you need to know this because we make decision based on we think that what other people will think about us. It's like this is dangerous. Why? Because if you are making decision based on what other people thinks about you, you're never going to make a right decision in your life. If you never make a right decision, what happens? You make a wrong decision. And you have a basic common sense that making a wrong decision in life is bad for you and it destroys your life. You never really live the life to its fullest because you're constantly thinking what other people will think about you, and you kind of need to get out of this about as quickly as you can. Why? Because you're living life like a little bitch. Like everyone used to say, "Oh, don't be a little bitch." What they actually trying to say is, don't be a weak man. Nothing has to do with women. Okay, so don't be a weak man. So what is a weak man? A weak man is the one who's basically a slave to others. Like if you think about it, slaves, they just had to follow their master. Like the slave master, the slave contractor. He told them to do something, they had to do something. It's the same effect when you care what other people think. You have to make your decision in a certain way. You have to dress in a certain way because they're thinking, having certain opinion about you. Okay, so you're basically a slave being controlled by them. Is the point I'm trying to say. Like it's insane that people will make a wrong decision. Like this is a problem with the most Asian, yeah, especially Indians. If you're watching this, so most the student will actually Indian students, they'll make a decision. Just agree with their parents. What are the parents trying to tell them to do this degree, do that degree, because they are afraid to have uncomfortable conversation with their dad. Most of the time, it's dad. Okay, could be mom for you, and the thing is, their parent, even if you satisfy them by doing a degree, for example, becoming a doctor, okay, you could become a doctor. Even if you could be a good boy, go get a job, become a doctor, become a lawyer, they will never be satisfied. They're hard to say this, but they'll be miserable still because of the reason that, well, here's something I'm trying to say. It's hard to say this, but I don't know how to say that. Well, you will be if you say after a certain age when you stop to being a good boy, listening to what other people will think, what your parents says, and this is not something that you want to do. Okay, if it's something that you wanted to do and your parents are telling you to do, that's a different story. But if you want to do completely different, for example, someone want to become a lawyer, this parent telling me, no, doctor makes more money. Yeah, doctor lives miserable life, they're suicidal, they're fat. This is how it is till they have their own hospital, make their own business, and they tell you excellent life. Not saying doctors live bad life, but there is a lot more struggle for doctor than it is for any other profession. So do you want to take that struggle? Because I've seen like the medical professional. There was a doctor who was a sickness doctor and he looked sick. How sick is that? Yeah, I used that one in different video. So that's the thing is you live like a miserable life because you follow the advice of other people. Could be your relatives, could be your parents, mostly going to the parents, because you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation with them and you blamed your parents for the rest of your life. It is better to blame yourself than it is to blame your parents or other people. Why? Because when you just choose a decision, let's say you decide to become a lawyer, despite what your parents said, and realize, no, you're a bad lawyer. Fuck. Well, yeah, that's fucked up, that's bad. But the thing is, you will be the least be more satisfied that, hey, at least that was my own decision. Now that was like an extreme example of careers, but it's applicable to everything. Even if you like your decision was bad, you have to make your own decision, and that's kind of how you stop caring what other people think. If you just go to the shopkeeper, and this is what actually happened. Like I was buying like strawberries, and I said want to buy like a chikus, and they were not soft, like they were not ripped, and he said, "Oh, just buy it, buy it." I was forcing me. If I this was like my back in the day self who think like or who was kind of like scared, socially awkward. He was an introvert type who thinks that what other people care about him. He could have bought it. This is my current self who don't give a fuck about what other people cares thinks about him because nobody cares. I said no, I don't want to buy it. They were bad quality. He said no, but you can choose between them, or you can choose the soft one, ripped one. I was like nah, they all look bad, and I ain't buying that shit. So you realize this people like exploit you like this. If you care what other people care what other people thinks about you, your boss will be exploiting you, or your teacher will exploit you, and sadly, most importantly, your parents will exploit you. Your friends will exploit you. They'll barely be called friends by this point. Your colleagues will exploit you because you're physically weak and mentally weak. Most importantly, there are people who are like physically weak. For example, they are too fat, too skinny, but they are mentally strong. Like you can't like kind of like control them. If you tell them to do something and they'll say, "I don't want to do it," fuck no, they won't do it. They're mentally strong. Yeah, they are physically weak. So you kind of have to become physically and mentally strong. Why physically? Because physical health is important and all. And when you become physically strong, you become mentally strong as well. It kind of works like parallelly. So here's an actionable step for how to stop caring what other people thinks about you. Well, start doing unconventional things and get out of your comfort zone and be more social and do like these adventurous things like masculine adventurous things like climbing mountain, um, going on a run, going to like a trip. Yeah, like I don't know, like chopping woods, like all this masculine shit that people do. They boost confidence, and what happens is that when you're in confidence in yourself and you know that you're doing something right, you kind of stop caring what other people think or reduce it a lot. And when you have like these life experiences, like social life experiences, not in like the inner skill, but like the social life experience, you have your brain starts to accept that nobody cares for what you do, what you think. It just loses of the fear completely after you get like these experiences in life. This is why when people like this shy introvert, as they grow older, they are not that shy, they are not that introverted, they are not that weak. Basically, they are not that pussy. Why? Because they got life experiences, and this is why I say social life experiences, because they got life experiences of that. But if you quickly like want to fix the social awkwardness, whatever you want to call it, social awkwardness, introvertness is a disease. Like it should be treated as a disease. And if someone has there should be like physical tests, like there's like blood tests to see if you have white blood cell more or less. There should be a test for introvertness, and this is a cure that I'm going to tell you for that. You don't need to go to doctor. And if you're like social anxiety, this is something you need to do. You need to get a social experience. What does a social experience means? Is to go outside the house and do fun things. Like I don't know, go to park and do pull-ups. Why? Because you kind of find the people around you who are, for example, running. Especially park is a good place. You find the people running, doing physical activities. You can join them. Someone playing sports, you can join them. You can make friends, and when you make friends, like everyone says, oh, but they are not my type of friends. Just make them. It's like saying, yeah, well, this is not the type of PC that I want. Well, realizes that this is your budget. You can only get like 4 GB RAM PC. You're not going to get 60, 32 GB RAM PC, 32 GB RAM. So start with like the 4 GB RAM, meaning if you obviously don't get like degenerate and bad friends who are making fun of you. But if you think like, oh, they are not type of people that I want to be friends with because they, um, they are bad people, then don't. But if they are like type of people who just who play sport and you just go there with them to play sport and you don't like the sport, like for example, they could be playing cricket. You don't like the cricket, well, just play it. Why? It's not about playing cricket or being good at it or physical activity. It's about the social experience that you get. And as you like level up in the social skill, you start to get like the friends of higher quality. So that's like the social skill is a skill, okay? So just like in the video games when you play, you have a skill of, let's say, some fire dragon who can smash rocks, but you want a level 100 skill which is flying and firing like a cannon of fire on enemies. Yeah, you have to progressively overload to get there. So that's the same thing. you need, if you want like the high quality friends that you can literally call brothers who will come to the help if you got accident at 5 p.m., let's say 3 a.m., you got accident, they'll rush to help you, they'll call the ambulance, they'll do everything in their power to help you. If you want like high quality friends like that, well, you have to start off with the social experience. You have to start getting the social skills. And why? Like, why do you need the friends? So sad. Like, it's such a primal thing, man. Like, when your ancestors go and hunt like animal, like they hunt an elephant, they weren't hunting alone. They are like the other hunters with them. So throughout the history, man were never alone. Like, the lone wolf is a bullshit because man were never alone. You see the people who build like, I don't know, fortress. They weren't alone. People who fought in the war. No, they were not alone. The World War II war, people who fought in World War II, they were not alone. Whether it's a good or bad, whatever the things man did throughout the history, they were never alone. So to do something great, you need friends, man. Like, and it's more fun. Like when you have like good quality friends, and you guys like go like do some adventurous fun things, you don't need like the movie, you don't need to watch like the movies and entertainment because you're getting entertainment from here, so you don't need this artificial entertainment because you're getting this natural. It's like comparing between highly processed sugar, sucralose, maltodextrin. This is what this artificial entertainment is on the screen, and you can call this something like stevia, sugar cane juice. This is what the natural entertainment is. And like this makes you fat. Like throughout this, we never had the sugar, we weren't fat. We had this sugar cane and stevia. Obviously not stevia, but you get it. So it's like throughout the history, we never had the depression. Now we are getting depression because of this artificial entertainment. So if you are like just in case addict to video games and all that stuff, your addiction goes away when you get like high quality friends. So yeah, man, just get the fuck outside the house. And I have made a full guide on the social skill that you can follow. This is from like level not even zero. Like if you're like level minus negative, because you're just too scared to literally step out the house because you have this anxiety. Hell, you want to step out the room. It's called hikikimori in Japan. So basically, the people who are just too scared, I don't know, who are like the anxiety, I don't know what they are, but they just don't even leave their room. I'm not talking about like leaving their house, but literally like leave their own room. They don't even do that. They don't even leave their own room. That is like how much fucked up this shit is. Like because they were the people who made the animes and shit. Fucking expected from that, but sad to see. So you can check that out, and that's is the video when I go into details like how to improve your social skills, and that will solve like a lot of problems for you, and you'll never have like anxiety, social fears, peer pressure, other people opinions. All that shit will be limited. Go check that out and click on the like and subscribe. And if you don't like the video, that's fine. Click on the dislike still, so that I'll actually know that if my videos are good or bad.